Well guys, here we are again with another Versus episode. I bet you didn't think I would go into one of these so quickly after the Pro Tools vs Reaper, but people always ask about this, so I felt it was time to give it a proper breakdown from a singer's perspective. Autotune vs Melodyne. In this video, I will be breaking down the pros and cons of using one over the other, or maybe even both in tandem. In the near future, I will be doing Autotune vs Melodyne from an editor's perspective, singing a live clip and showing how I would tune it in both, so make sure to hit that notification bell because you're not going to want to miss this. And of course, subscribe as I'm trying to hit the goal of 50,000 of you wonderful people by the end of the year. Whew. So after that long-winded intro, what's happening fam? I'm Miami with JST and I've gone back and forth between these two programs for as long as I can remember. I can think back to times when I was tuning a vocal for Elise from Amaranth or even Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens, and they're a couple of the greatest vocalists on the planet. When tuning vocals for them, I tried both softwares because I wanted to make sure that the job was done perfectly. With powerhouses like them, you rarely have to do much, but that's not the typical case when you're recording less experienced vocalists. Being on the engineer side as well as the artist side made it difficult to come to terms with these pitch correction softwares because let's be real, neither the artist or the engineer want to rely on pitch correction. They are definitely tools that are meant to be used as an aid or for a specific effect, but a tool is only as powerful as the hand that holds it. So which one is going to be the Thanos gauntlet for you? Let's get into it. Each one of these programs have one thing that is such an obvious advantage over the other one. It can determine which one you will buy if you only have the funds for one. That stimulus check just hit though. First, Autotune's Advantage. The biggest difference between the two is that Melodyne is non-linear while Autotune is linear. To simplify this, Autotune works in real time while Melodyne does not. If this video was based solely off of live use or tracking in real time, it wouldn't even be a contest because Melodyne doesn't even have this as an option. Does the singer need a little more confidence in the booth? Is their throat a little scratchy out of nowhere and they need a little bit of help to get the vibe going? Autotune is perfect for this. Make sure to set the retune speed in the 28 to 20 range unless you're going for an intentional auto-tuned effect. This also works with playing live shows or doing live streams. It can actually give vocalists more confidence because if they sound better, they're going to perform better. Second, Melodyne's Advantage. And this is a pretty big one. Melodyne has a polyphonic mode, which means it has the ability to tune chords. Yeah, you heard that right. You can use it to tune a single string out of a chord that might have a mistake in it. One of the times this feature was most useful to me was when I had sang a 5-part harmony in an old track, but it was bounced as a stem. I was able to go in and find the flat note out of all the harmonies and get it sounding perfect. Now let's get into the things that we can compare. Number 3, ease of use. Autotune is one of the easiest programs to ever use if you're dealing with a relatively decent singer. You pick the key, leave it on automatic mode, and just have the vocalist keep singing until they hit the right notes, or at least something close enough that it registers as the right note. Keep in mind, we're talking about the automatic mode currently. If you want to dive into the world of graphic mode, you're in for a long day. It will probably take you months to actually master the graphics mode here, and you might not end up with a result as natural sounding as Melodyne. Now, Melodyne definitely has a bit of a learning curve as well, but I feel you can learn to master it much faster than Autotune's graphic mode. When you are a singer-songwriter and you know your vocals have tons of nuances that you pay extreme attention to, Melodyne is your choice. It is definitely slower to use than just Autotune auto mode, but you can tinker until the vocal is tuned exactly how you hear it in your head. Number 4, price. You knew this was coming. For the average singer just wanting to tune their vocals to keep up with the trends, the pricing is as follows. Melodyne 5 Essentials, which is the most basic form of the software, is available for $99. This version will allow you to do the basic pitch correction and get you on your way without all the extras like the toolkit for pitch, timing, vibrato, phrasing, formants, and dynamics. If any of those things sound important, you'll have your eyes on Melodyne Assistant, which is $300. This comes with the toolkit so you can expand on fine-tuning your vocal. I would recommend this for the more intermediate user. At the $500 mark, you get Melodyne Editor, which is rich with features and finally brings in the polyphonic mode I so highly praised. This is definitely when you're in the territory of I do this for a living. Most singer-songwriter types will be perfectly fine with option 1 or 2. And lastly, Melodyne Studio. This is $850, but I have to say it has one feature that supersedes any other pitch correction production software. In your DAW with this version, you can put Melodyne on each track you want to tune, start tuning the first track, and be able to visibly see where the notes fall on the other instances of Melodyne. You a big fan of triple tracking courses? I know we are. This is a literal lifesaver because you can tune a main vocal and a double or two at the same time. $850 though? Kinda steep. Onto Autotune. Autotune, in a similar fashion to Melodyne, has its most basic software priced at $99. This is locked to automatic mode and will work very good for vocalists that just want to use the share effect. Oh, you didn't know Autotune was basically invented on a share song? Well, now you do. Next up, we have Autotune EFX at $200. This is basically aimed at people who want to use Autotune and add an effect like tube warmth or vocal effects, telephone, whatever. This is mostly used by people in the hip-hop world, but it's pretty versatile. For an extra $100, you step into the territory of Autotune Artist. This is basically all of the options of Autotune you would want, with extremely low latency and a humanized button to make transitions sound smoother. This is where you get into the more transparent form of Autotune. And lastly, at $400, you get Autotune Pro. This is where they finally introduced the graphic mode. If you're simply a vocalist tuning their own stuff, this might be overkill, but this is a version needed by every professional tuner in the world. And last but not least, 5. How do they sound? Because that's really the most important part, right? In short, if you're dealing with a singer that has really good pitch and not too many crazy runs or melismas, I would go with Autotune. They will be able to get the take they want very easily and focus on the more important things like the song itself. If you have a vocalist that has the attitude but not the pitch, or maybe they're extremely picky, or they have a lot of nuances in the way that they sing, I would say Melodyne's the way to go. Overall, people tend to think Melodyne sounds more natural anyways. The singers that don't think Autotune can sound natural are typically the ones that are pretty off pitch. Play with the retune speed and humanizing options a little bit more, it might change your mind. And if you're neurotic like me, sometimes I'll loosely tune things in Melodyne and then put Autotune on after it with a retune speed between 30 and 25. This will make the whole performance feel more natural. So let's go over the points that we just hit. 1. Autotune works in real time. 2. Melodyne has polyphonic mode. 3. Ease of use. 4. Price. And 5, and maybe most importantly, how do they sound? I hope this helped you come to terms with which software is right for you. They both have their pros and cons, and of course have different products aimed at different markets. In the end, it's all about what's going to fulfill your needs. If I inspired you to write something, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You only have to do it one time. And tap that bell for notifications so when a video drops, you know the location. Until next time, I'm out of here. Mic drop! Except as engineers, we know I would never really drop it, even if it is a piece of shirt. Later.